Hello, and welcome to another Hot Chips Year Nah, where today we'll be answering the question, should you play Quantum Break?
In my opinion.
And yeah, well,
In your
In
opinion.
my opinion. And whether or not we can convince Jordan, because who hasn't played it,
that's it.
if it's going to be worth playing or not.
That's it. So, Reagan, how much of Quantum Break have you played?
Finished it.
Finished it.
I did the 5 acts and I watched the 4 episodes, so the whole thing.
Oh, is there no 5th episode? I've played 4 acts, so.
Spoilers?
Yeah, okay. Oh, I would have been sad if I got to the end and been like, I want another episode.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So how much have you played then?
I am I think that I'm just about up to the 4th junction.
So it means you've finished 4 acts.
I've finished 4 acts.
Alright.
So the game is episodic, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
What kind of game is it? Because I don't know. I don't know much about it. I know a little, but let's just
Yeah,
go
I
through
mean,
it.
it's in the same sort of genre as Alan Wake. Like, it wants to be an action game, but it's more interested in telling you a story, about making you go through a story, than it is about focusing on the action.
So the gameplay is third party shooter,
Third person.
third person
Yeah,
shooter.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's third person, but it's more of a third person story with action elements.
Actually, one of the
That's
things
like
I
being
really...
really pretentious about it, but it's really true. If
Yeah.
you go into it expecting an action adventure game, I think you'd be really disappointed.
Yeah.
I think if you went into it expecting a lot of things, you'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
But one of the beautiful things about it is as you go through it, you're like, oh, it's a blah 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 game, and then suddenly you're like, oh no, it's this, and then like it offers you a lot of different things. I feel
Yeah.
like, and you constantly feel like it's something new, which was why I found it so exciting.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of the trailers going up to it, and the trailers really didn't sell this game. Like, I watched the
Right.
trailers and the demos and thought, this is going to be balls. Like, this is going to be so bad. Because it was like this TV show that kind of seemed really detached
Yeah.
from... The gameplay seemed like almost, second tier action. Like, it wasn't quite Uncharted. Like,
Yeah.
what was it? But then, kind of based on what you guys are saying, it works.
I had no interest in the game before launch.
Neither did I.
I'd seen a bunch of trailers, I'd seen some gameplay footage, and I came away thinking, oh, why didn't they just make Alan Wake 2? This is going to be really bad. I don't want an action, because it kind of sold it to me as an action game, like heaps of action,
Yeah.
that was interspersed with a TV show.
Yeah.
But the way that it's done kind of, it's way more that it's like a playable TV show that interspersed with action. It's kind of the other way around.
Right.
It's like you have mainly just story, then you'll have sections where you have these really believable action moments. It's not like 30 guys all come pouring in, you take them all out. It's like 8 or 9 guys will come in because that's what that squad is built up of, and you have to sort of take them out or find your way past them. And then it goes back onto story, finding like pickups to read about what's going on, in very much an Alan Wake kind of style.
Do you ever feel like I'd rather just be playing the game or I'd rather just be watching the TV show? Does it ever feel one way or the other?
No, I think it's got a really nice balance.
Yeah,
I never felt like that, and I easily feel like that quite
Yeah.
often. Like, I'm often thinking I'm sick of just shooting the things now. So no, I think it was really well balanced.
Yeah, and plus the good thing about it is the story is a side story. The episodes are like a complete side story that's... imagine like the game you're playing is telling the story of Jack. And then as soon as that ends and the episodes start, they're telling a story of these other people that are part of the Monarch Corporation. And so you
two
could
stories.
easily just... Because you can skip the episodes if you don't want to watch them. If you're like, I don't want to watch these, I'll watch these at some other time. That's fine, and you won't miss a part of Jack's story. It'll all make sense. And then you could go back and watch the episodes and you'd find the backstory of events that happen in Jack's story.
So I thought that things you did in the game changed the episodes.
And they really tried to sell that idea, but really it's done in the cheapest, weakest
So it
kind of way.
doesn't.
No, it's like one of the parts is kind of like you might find there's like a dinosaur sign, like a billboard sign that you might find, and like when you look at it or you examine it, the little symbol at the top right says, which is like lets you know, hey, check out the episode. It's gonna show you something. It's all right. And then in the episode, you'll see that little symbol show up, which says, hey, we're about to show you something that aligns with something you did, or that. And all it will be is like one of the characters going, hey, what is this over here? And it just like cuts to them going, what's this over here? And then it like shows the thing. I don't know. And then it just cuts back to the episode.
In the first episode, I was like, why is that symbol keep coming up? That's how subtle it is.
There are some parts where where some decisions you make, like at the end of every act, there's a junction where you get to choose between two things.
Yeah.
And you can get a quick glimpse into the future of what each one will do or what it means. And you select one. And it does have a small effect on the story that's being told. For example, in the first act, there's a protester that gets captured, and in the first junction that you get to choose is whether or not you basically intimidate her into telling your side of the story. So basically, or the other one, which is I think kill her. I think. And so if you kill her, then there's a sub story that is slightly different. She doesn't make this. I don't know, this TV interview saying all these things that the Monarch Corporation is actually the good side and that Jack's bad. Instead, she's just dead and none of that happens.
Does it have any effect on the story?
I haven't gone through both to really know. But at the same time, they did mention that lady a few times, and you actually help her out later. You actually help her out in the story later on anyway.
Yeah.
So if she's dead, if you choose to kill her off, she wouldn't be there.
I wonder what that would be like.
Yeah. So obviously we both saved her.
Need to play it again, yeah.
For our viewers, we're not doing the 30-second thing, so we're already into spoilers. So
I'll preface the title.
If you are a regular watcher, we've dropped the 30-second thing in favour of just answering yeah, nah to should you be playing this.
Yeah.
So I feel like, Amy, since I haven't played,
Yes.
should I play this? Yeah, nah. Let's use the pedal.
Yeah?
Yeah, and tell me why.
Yes. You should be playing.
What's your why?
I think that you personally would really like it because you are a big TV fan. You like to watch things. You love story-driven games. I think you're going to really be immersed in this world, and the shooting, like the shooter style of the game, doesn't become cumbersome in the way that I know we share a frustration of.
Of killing 1,000 guys and then being like, and then a death is supposed to mean something when it happens.
Yes. So the only time that I've ever felt that frustration in Quantum Break is when you clear an area and then it makes you go back through the area. So that's the only time that I'm ever like, it's just shooting for shooting's sake.
I want to counter you a year.
Okay. Oh wait, but I have more.
Okay.
Also, the powers are super fun to use.
They're so
you
fun.
don't feel like shooty all the time. It's like using all the different things, and it's fun.
Yeah.
So the gameplay is quite creative and fun.
The gameplay is quite creative, and it's really Tomb Raider-ish. I find it quite a little bit Tomb Raider-y, like with the time vision and the I don't know. I find it quite similar.
There's something really awesome about sort of using your Assassin's Creed style understanding of the environment and marking all your guys, like throwing out like a time stopper to make them stop, using your time boost or whatever to run through quicker than they can move, and then appear behind them and smash them, and then like use the trigger to aim, which stops all time after like darting, to then headshot some. It's just really
and like
good.
rewind time to like rebuild a bridge.
No, the time moves, especially in the combat, are really satisfying once you've unlocked them all, and you can just like move from bad guy to bad guy, wiping them out.
You feel like a badass.
See, you've sold me on the combat and the level of the gameplay sounds good and it sounds fun. It sounds like progresses nicely, has good pacing. But the reason I was turned off the game by the trailers, didn't feel it made sense, and then I was all of a sudden interested when it started being about the story and the choices and moving forward and decisions matter. Now I've gone the other way because you've told me my choices don't matter.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna. I don't know. I'd probably still like to play this because it's one of the better ones out there in terms of this. But why can't they just make a game that has multiple endings and your choices matter? Why doesn't that exist?
I don't think that's what they tried
This
to
answers
do.
that though, right? Doesn't it? Because the whole story here is that it's time travel. The whole story is time travel, and in this, there's all these different types of time travel in movies and video games. But they've gone with the one that everything that has happened up until now cannot be changed because it has happened. So if you go back in the past to change something, then that change has affected what is basically it made the thing happen that has already happened.
Right.
So
It doesn't work with the story, basically. Like
you couldn't have multiple endings because can only be one outcome.
It's like the idea of fate that flows down the single path.
And
And
I
death
think
will come for you, final destination, and they like put off the thing.
And I think they did it. I loved the time travel aspect of this one. Like,
See, I'm a huge fan of time travel as well, so that's all.
Yeah, and I think you'd be really satisfied with what they do with the story.
Yeah.
Because I thought I knew what was coming. I thought I could guess some of the twists and turns.
I feel like I know it.
But I didn't get it at all, and I didn't guess
So there are
any of them
twists.
correctly.
I'm a big fan of twists.
I think so. And then by the end, I just came away super satisfied with the story, both from the game and the episodes. Like they could have made the game without the episodes. I'm not denying that you can play it through without the episodes. But if you wanted a better look at what's going in the backstory of this massive corporation that you're trying to take on, it does a really good job of just not being a boring drama. Like it is probably up there with the quality of some TV shows. Not Breaking Bad quality, but maybe your NCIS style TV shows.
So what are you giving it?
Oh, it's easily a year from me.
Yeah.
And I went in thinking it was not going to be any good. I almost was not overly keen to get my hands on a copy. But that first act completely changed me. That first act was amazing.
Yeah, dedicated, take an hour and play the stuff.
Yeah.
And you'll be...
And don't go into it thinking, oh, I'm not going to explore and find all the collectibles. Treat it like a game where you're rewarded by finding more of the story.
And am I going to enjoy it more going in and being I want to enjoy this story, not that I want to make my own story with multiple paths. I just want to enjoy the story.
Just
I
enjoy
do
the
like
story.
Enjoy that story that's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
There will be things that change, and you'll probably have some conversations with people who have chosen different things that might affect small things. But you're not going to end up with a different ending than anyone else.
So what do you think I'm going to give it?
I think you're going to give it a year.
I think you'll give it a year. I want everyone to give it a year.
I think you know me too well.
Yeah,
it's a year because it ticks my boxes in terms of it has the themes that I like along with time travel and kind of that. It's almost like the philosophy of time travel. I'm really into that idea.
You will love it.
And
there's a lot of science in it that's apparently extremely factual, which is very cool.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved all of the quiet moments. I loved all of the action moments. The only thing I didn't like about the episodes was some of the terrible, terrible acting. Yeah. They clearly had a budget for the episodes and they got 2 or 3 well-known actors who they also made into characters and voiced in the game. And then they dropped a few dollars on some other extras that also do voice act, doing the
And some of the
acting.
sets are kind of bare.
Yeah.
And you're well, I'm lucky it's a minimalist aesthetic because there's not a lot going on in the stuff. But most exciting thing about this game for me is what they're going to do with this genre of game next. I can't wait to see something else.
Or will they? Because I'm still waiting on Alan Wake 2. I thought they were going to just make me Alan Wake 2. Because they hinted Alan Wake 2 throughout the game. In the first act, you can watch a TV and it shows a live action movie, I guess, of Alan Wake 2. And it's just they know that they're putting that teaser out there.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. I actually like that Alan Wake exists in the universe they've built because he's got he's an actual author in this world as well. Yeah. But that's another story.
Anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's 3 years from us.
It's a big year. I want to put hell yeah from me.
And that concludes another year nah. So
like and subscribe, please, if you've enjoyed this video.
Yeah, and we'll have more year nahs coming out all the time.
All the time.
And we actually have videos every Tuesday and Thursday, so hit subscribe.
Cool.
See you.
See you.